Questions abound all through the economy about whether or not the entire world or even just the United States are on the cusp of recession. But one thing is true, and it's what we cover so well each and every day for you. The Walt Disney Company seems at the precipice of danger. If a recession is to occur, it turns out that the House of Mouse is more susceptible than ever to economic headwinds. We'll explain why right now. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the place that puts that little mouse under the magnifying glass of truth and objectivity. They hate it, they don't like it, but we're here determined to bring Disney back to the sensible center, the mainstream middle where money can be made. And what a good time we have making you aware of what is going on with Disney, the culture war, and more. Today we're talking about Disney's economic viability should we go into a recession or even just an economic downturn. It is something that many people are worried about, but we are here to examine specifically what would happen to the House of Mouse. And we suspect that they might be in more danger than usual. We'll tell you about it. Let's bring on the panel. We don't know what's going to happen with the economy, and today has been better. Absolutely, 100% it's been better with Wall Street. However, world events can happen, and that's what I think many people are waiting to see is what's going to happen with world events, particularly in the Middle East. That's really not the purview of this channel, right? We're not a financial channel. That's not what we do. But what we do cover Disney, which is do. But Disney is in a particularly vulnerable position right now. We just talked about the 25% increase in price across all of streaming, which I think is a very weak thing to do. It does not pretend strength. Disney's in a spot, though, where all they offer are wants, not needs. And if there is an economic downturn, if there is a worldwide recession, which I'm not guaranteeing that there will be, but I suspect that Disney is very vulnerable at their parks. I was deeply concerned watching Oriental Land Company lose such a huge percentage of their overall financial power when the Japanese markets crashed. So I'm concerned that this company is not well prepared for a recession. I'd like to hand it first to Jonas and then to the rest of the panel. Jonas, what do you make of how Disney would handle a recession should that happen, which we're not guaranteeing, but many are worried about?
Well, I think the first thing that would probably go is some of these premium nighttime events that they spend so much money on. I think they would have to focus on value customers and probably local residents wherever they are at the parks, specifically focusing on the U.S.-based parks there because that's where they have established businesses. I don't know how Paris has not really been profitable for very long at all, and there's a kind of an economic capture that's gone on over there. So I think that as far as the parks being profitable, they would need to focus on value at the parks themselves, which is not something they have done a very good job of recently. They basically rebranded the parks as a premium experience. The trash on the streets comes to mind as a bit of a paradox there, or maybe hypocritical nature of that. I think that this company would have to go towards things that appeal to everyone regardless. They would need to fully wash themselves of this idea that they need to be appealing to specific segments of the population and then just go for the things that go for the big open areas on the field. If we're talking baseball here, go for left field if nobody's out there. If it's something where they might also look into selling the portions of the company that don't make them any money, which, again, we've talked about the
That's
fact
a growing
that
list
on Fox IPs. Well, Star Wars obviously being in the parks, that is a fully integrated IP at this point, and they have struggled to find a way to make that profitable for them. They could, seriously, that you would see the dining plan return in a big way if I can put one of the indicators up there, put my finger to the wind and say, if the dining plan comes back and it's actually something that saves customers money, that's a sure sign that they're actually struggling at the parks.
The dining plan is back, Jonas. They have the dining plan again right now, but I think the free dining plan would come back. The offer that they would do in the fall, where they would give you the Disney dining plan for free. I think we'd see that back.
Here's the problem, guys. Nobody could have predicted that this whole Epic Universe versus Disney thing would happen right in the middle of, or right at the beginning of, or in the middle of a recession. Nobody could have predicted that the Six Flags Cedar Fair merger would happen just prior to that. But to the degree that I absolutely agree, Jonas, they're going to have to emphasize locals versus long distance because people won't be able to afford to travel. When you do that, and suddenly it's a question of, if you're coming to LA, is it either or Disneyland versus Knott's and Six Flags Magic Mountain? Mm-hmm. Or if you're coming to Orlando and you're living in the area, is it either or? Who loses? The or is who loses. And as far as the dining plans and stuff, that's about hotels, and locals don't do that. So they got some serious, serious problems. And as far as selling off things that aren't making money, to who? If they're not making money, who wants them in a recession? So having said all that, guys, I got to run over to that Park Place because, damn, I'm in demand. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you all soon, and be sure to watch things like Genre Guys and my show with Vash every Sunday. We had a great one this past Sunday, by the way. Well worth replaying. And
T3PO Live, folks. T3PO Live will be sending you there in just a moment to go continue with Lou this afternoon. And Lou, I have a feeling you guys will be talking about a bunch of this stuff, but even more great coverage on the way. Lou, thank you for being here today. I hope
so. Adios, all.
All right, Marvin, I'm going to give you last word on this. Your thoughts on Disney and its vulnerability in the if a recession were to happen, particularly Marvin. If they increase the streaming cost by 25%, at the same time that we may have a restricted amount of money in the economy, I got a feeling I know who's going to be cutting some subscriptions first.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I mean, I think Jonas hit the nail on the head, but he's talking about value. You got to look at what value are you getting from the money, and how are you going to stretch every dollar that you have in a recession. Disney used to be able to charge obscene amounts of money for everything that they offered because there was that Disney difference. You know, we all thought, like, you know, all magic comes at a price from Once Upon a Time. We used to always say that when it comes to like how expensive something for Disney was. Well, that's not really the case anymore, because you're not really getting that magic anymore. You're not getting that experience. You're not getting that quality. You're staying at a luxury resort and you're getting turned down service every other day, if at all. And you know, you're looking at something like streaming. People are going to start paring down their streaming services, and it's going to be, okay, well, what do I watch? Yes, my kids like Bluey, but is it more cost effective to just buy the episodes one at a time on Amazon Prime, or you know, buy the Blu-ray box sets rather than having this Disney Plus subscription? I think that Disney is not going to be prepared in any way, shape, or form. Like you said, they have branded this a premium experience, and they are going to have to rethink their entire strategy in a recession, because they're not going to be able to continue to raise prices like that. But you're never going to see Disney parks, for example, lower their prices. You're going to see more of what Jonas was talking about. You're going to see more, there's specialty promotions to come stay at the Disney parks during this month. So I think that's more what you're going to see. They're not, but bottom line is, they are not prepared for it. And if it happens, Disney is going to be the company that probably gets smacked in the face the hardest with this one.
So the entire stock market, well, at least the S&P 500, is up something like 2.5% today, following the downturn that it took. Disney today up about 1 percentage point more than that. I gotta say, guys, if the big swing for a home run was to increase all of streaming 25%, outpacing the market by 1%, not a huge win here for Disney. We'll see what happens with the earnings call, but it's going to depend. Can investors sniff out that this is potentially a way for Disney to ink out a very white knuckle win of achieving profitability for streaming by Q4, which is what they've been guiding for years? We will see. As you might guess, I have my doubt. Folks, we've come to the end, and we are so sad to have to say goodbye for now, but worry not, for more content is coming each and every day, 3 times daily, in fact, and we even have additional channels ready to go covering the news, because the news never stops, and neither do we. We've assembled a team just to do it. Check out That Game Place, That Park Place, That Pod Place, and even Vacation Radio. Folks, we surely do appreciate your time. It is an honor every time you invite us into your homes, into your cars, into your speakers. We take it as a great responsibility to do our best to convey the truth as best we can for you. Thank you. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.